Hey guys, welcome to the Diamond District. Today I wanted to talk about lying to yourself. One of the most efficient things that you can be is grounded in reality. Because when you are grounded in reality, you have a clear and in-depth understanding of your situation, of the situation around you, and how by having those clear parameters, you're able to understand how you're going to navigate into a better solution, into a better tomorrow, into a better future. Ultimately, you're not able to really do any real problem solving if you don't actually have a true in-depth understanding of your reality. Now, most people are not grounded in reality because they are so wrapped up in escapism and comfort that they live in a sense of denial. You see, reality for the most part is filled with a lot of things that people don't like. And the average person, in the face of things that they don't like, they will avoid it. You see, avoidance, escapism, seeking comfort, these are all the things that are always going to be the reflex of an average person. And honestly, everybody naturally is seeking comfort. Everyone is naturally seeking an easier life. But someone who is beyond average understands that in the long run, if you seek comfort first, everything outside of that later down the line is going to be hard as fuck. It is. It really, really is. For every time that you spend chilling, you are exchanging your present comfort for future discomfort. But if you trade in your future discomfort for present day discomfort, the future is going to be more than comfortable. I hope that makes sense. Understand this fundamentally. Reality is tough, but reality is also very, very rewarding. But in order for you to even benefit from it, you have to first ground yourself in reality. Look in the mirror and identify what is wrong with you. What are you not doing? What are you not owning up? What are you avoiding? What are you running away from? What don't you want to face? Even if you're afraid to face those things, even if you feel like those things or the reality of those issues are too harsh, you have to face them, because if you don't, they're just going to compound into something even worse than what they are now. There was a lot of issues that I had in the past that I wasn't willing to face or to own up to. And it just kind of took so much time away from me. Because if you are in the process of trying to improve yourself, but you're not entirely grounded in reality, you're going to go through circles. Because your actions and your desires may align with what you need to do, but your mentality and your internal motor are not. So you, instead of just going forward, you're going round and round and round because you keep running into the same problems, but you haven't identified the root of the problem. And if you don't understand the root, you're not able to really provide a necessary solution. For me, I had to come to the conclusion of quite a few things, that I didn't want to do the hard work, that I'd rather be chasing comfort, because doing the hard work to me is just too hard. It requires too much of me, and I felt like a lot of my childhood, when I would think about everything that I need to do to have a better future, I would think about everything that I had been through. And instead of motivating me to do more, I would be upset at the idea that I had to do more because of everything that I had been through. I had this sense of, there's a word for it. The definition of the word is when you have this level of expectation that people are supposed to just give you what you want because you want it, but you haven't earned it. And I, some way, somehow, had developed this level of expectation because my life was hard as a child. And because my life was hard as a child, and because I had potential to be great, I expected that this potential on its own would blossom without me having to do the necessary steps. And then once I crossed the threshold of that ignorance and I understood what was needed to be done at the very least, I still wasn't doing it because I just thought it was too hard, because I felt like I deserved all the things that I wanted without me having to put in the work for it. And that is delusional. If you think that anything that you want is just going to happen for you, you're delusional. And this is not to negate the idea of manifestation. This is not to negate the idea of the law of attraction. Manifesting, attracting are verbs. That implies action. That implies you are doing something to make these things come to you or to make these things manifest. To expect, to feel like you deserve. These are not action words, meaning you are doing nothing, meaning you are taking no steps for these things to happen and for them to come to you. In order for anything to happen for you, you're going to have to do any type of action, and specifically what is required for that specific goal. Right now, I'm in like a really weird place where I used to think that getting rid of your vices would be like this great big catapult into getting you where you want to go or where you want to be. And all it really does is, it's not more of a catapult. Getting rid of your vices, it helps take these weights off your legs and your back and your shoulders. You have less on you, and you're able to have more energy, clarity, and focus. But there's still so much more to be done. Those things are just hindering you. They're not entirely stopping you from... I could have still made progress with the vices when I had them. You understand? And this is why this is a side thing. Don't make your problems bigger than what they are, because there's people who have all sorts of addictions, all sorts of vices, all sorts of ailments, and they don't let that get in their way at all. So all of that to be said is, you really need to be grounded in reality, and you need to really see, what is it that you're really doing? And are the actions that you're taking, are they going to get you to where you want to be? Are all of them getting you where you want to be? You have to really dig, you have to really dig deep. You have to block out time in your day for you to really journal about it. Or maybe instead of emotionally writing, try to be very objective. Try to look at your actions, your day-to-day, your decision-making from this standpoint of is this benefiting me, yes or no? And this advice is very typical, but you got to understand, pieces of information, or specifically advices or philosophies that have been around for hundreds of years, they're there because they work. Typical pieces of advice, if you stand a certain way, you'll feel more confident. You're like, yeah, right. Try it. Try it. Try it just in your body language when you don't feel confident. Just try it. Just try to sit upright with your back straight and things of that nature, eyes forward. All these little tidbits of jewels and gems that you hear that are kind of passed down from generation to generation. These are not people speaking out of their ass. These things are still being passed down because they work. Most times people are not able to experience the benefit of these small gems and jewels because they don't believe it works. Because they're not willing to actually try to make it work. Every single program, and this is a very difficult reality that I had to accept, because I kept thinking that there's a right way to do something and there's a wrong way, and maybe this works for them, but it's not going to work for me. Everything works. Every program works. Every hustle works. Every single thing works. But the point is that you make it work. You work on it long enough until you start to see results. So it's almost entirely dependent on you as opposed to it. And myself and most people, we have been looking for systems and programs and tools that work on its own. We just have to put in minimal effort, follow this program, and we're gonna get results. And a lot of times it's not going to be like that, because life is not like that. You get what you put in. So if you're putting in 100%, if you're going all the way, like, if you're just fucking raw dogging it, bro, if you're just white knuckling it, you're just giving it your all consistently for a long amount of time, whatever program you've chosen to do is going to get you results. Because there isn't a right way. There's the way that you have decided to pick and the way you've decided to commit yourself to. But honestly, I digress, and once again, I keep going over this time limit. I have to do a better job at that. But you can do it. You know, I just want that to be like the overall echoing theme, regardless of what type of piece of information that I give you. Just know that you can do it. You can overcome yourself. You can rise to whatever occasion, you know. Just know that you can do it. Just don't give up.